Investors and traders, welcome to the channel Market Chart Pattern. Today is 4th of January 2025. Hope everyone is having a fantastic weekend and everyone had a fantastic start to the new year 2025. I wish everyone a very happy and prosperous 2025. So we'll be taking a look at the key US technology stocks in this video. As always, this video is for educational purposes only. It is not a financial advice. So let's actually take a look at the popular ETF. So we'll start by taking a look at the weekly chart of QQQ. So one of the things I would like to point out is this is the long-term trend line. I'm gonna make it a little bit subtle by changing into a dotted line. There we go. And this one is intact, and we have had sell-offs. This is the one in October 2023. So this move has actually started in back in October 2022, and this is our CD leg higher. And this is the pullback 15th of April. In April, this is the August one. It was really deep. This one, 5th of August, ended here. We had perfect timing. You can watch the video in the archives. I think it's gonna be also a very educational thing for you guys, because at that time it was the sentiment was so negative, but we had key timing coming in, and when price meets time, the pattern is complete. We had that situation, so actually we began to get bullish the market. And then we had another key timing coming in on the 7th of November, that time period. And then of course the timing is more about a turn in the market, and the market was bullish and we had a fantastic move higher. And at that time we actually came up with a higher target level in the Nasdaq 100 futures actually, which I'll show you in a moment. And we had actually hit the 1.272 expansion. So the chances are we are seeing a pullback right into, after hitting this level, we could still hit 554, which is going to be the 1.618 expansion. Of course, there are key support levels that we are watching in the market, and I would recommend that you guys go and watch this video which I had done a couple of weeks ago. So this is published on the 20th of December 2024. It was a time when the market was hitting some really key support levels in all major indices that we follow, especially in the Dow Jones Industrial Futures. And thus far the market has respected those levels. So as long as those levels are held as support, I am more onto the upside for it. So we'll find out further with the price action. But I really highly recommend you watch this video, and I will put a link to that video in the description as well, and towards the end of this video as well. So this is what we are looking at, the picture in the QQQ. One of the things is that it had a big ABCD 1-to-1 price projection completed right here. We saw this big pullback right into the August, because we were completing this pattern. Also the 1.618 expansion of the BC swing. So it wasn't really unexpected because of the completion right here. At that time, the S&P 500 and Dow Jones, they had not completed their ABCDs. Nasdaq was the first one to do that. But what we have seen is, since then, we have seen an extension of the CD leg. So what we can actually point out is a situation in, we are looking at the NQs. In NQ, we could have, perhaps, if the CD leg is extending, it could extend by 1.272 and 1.618 times the AB leg. So what it means is we could potentially be looking at 560 in the CD leg. So I'm actually gonna take it there, and this is of course assuming the key support levels are held, which we are still watching. So here we go. I'm gonna put a question mark. So that is one possibility. So 555 to 565 is the kind of really key level to watch to the upside. And just a reminder, look at this nice trend line still intact, right? Okay, now let's take a look at the Yeah, one more thing I want to point out is this is the weekly chart. So we have had a positive close to the week. So the first week of the new year, positive close on the QQQ, and then let's take a look at the XLK. Similar kind of picture, similar but slightly different, um, because one of the key things is when we had this massive pullback on 5th of August, it hit the exact 38.2% retracement of the October 2022 lows in XLK, but the QQQ it was still higher. But since it had hit that, so I was getting more confident that we might have seen a really key support level. And now, if in this market the CT leg is extending, let's go back here. And there we go. And let me actually bring in the expansion of this. So here we go. So yeah, 250. That's a really key level in the XLK, so we'll be watching that. Let me show you, and also note that the weekly close was positive, and also for the prior week the weekly close was positive for the ETF. And then if we take a look at the NDX, which is the S&P 500 cash index, also note we had a positive close, and then this is the level 1.272 expansion of this, it hit that. And if we take whether the CD leg is extending, so we'll just use our tool, this is AB, and then bring it right here. So where does this, okay, maybe I did not draw it properly. There we go. Yep, there we go. So this is the level, and then the really important thing is I'll just show you the futures as well. So this is the Nasdaq 100 futures. On the futures, we had we had a negative close on the futures. Cash market we did not. QQQ we did not. XLK we did not. So there is subtle differences there, and in fact the week is closing minus 1.04% based on the data here on TradingView, and this is the 1.272 expansion. I hit that. I wasn't able to close above it on the weekly basis, inside bar, and I believe it tried to take the lows out of this by, yep, it did. So the low was 76.75. Yep, it did, but price rejected lower prices. So yeah, there is a possibility of 23,250 on the Nasdaq 100. Now, future chart. So now we will actually take a look at some of the individual stocks that we like to follow. So I'll start by taking a look at Meta. So this is the former Facebook. Now it's called Meta. And you can see that Meta is actually pretty strong. It's a pretty strong stock. It had a massive 78.6% retracement right here. So back then, this is where this was the all-time high reached, and this is going back to the IPO lows, and it hit the exact 78.6% retracement, and it turned. The reason it really turned was because Meta, when the name was changed, it was all about metaverse, and it wasn't really clear to investors the strategy in terms of the expenditure that would go in creating something that virtual, that sort of virtual reality. And so those were really real concern, and it was going to hurt the earnings for sure. But this is where Zuckerberg he pivoted into artificial intelligence, the kind of data Facebook holds, and the kind of stuff they have done in artificial intelligence. I think this is where the investors started to come back in and started pouring money into it. And the key thing is that it turned right from this key technical level. So the stocks could have really big pullbacks, and a majority of the stocks might never recover, especially if they break below the 78.6% retracement. But this is the strength of this stock. And then once it went above the $200 mark, that was the 38.2% retracement. we became bullish on the stock. And look, it's moving in a nice channel formation right now. The price is above the 20-week moving average, which is this blue line right here. Now, if you look at how strong this trend was, the it's still a pretty good, nice trend, but we have sort of two ways trading here. So it moves one step forward, then it moves one step backward, then it moves two steps forward, then it takes one step back. So it's moving in a zigzag fashion like this, you know. So what it's telling us is that perhaps at some stage we might begin to see trading range behavior come in and market is really extended as well, but it remains above our technical level, which is around 563. So that is the key thing to note. Now the last couple of weeks they have been in inside bars, which is actually fine, because look at this is really negative price action. The market was down, or the stock was down 5.66%. So inside bars are fine. Actually, this one is actually a bigger bar, so this one is actually engulfing this one, but they still remain inside this one. So the real strength will come into the stock when it begins to move above the 632.35 level, and then it's got a really good shot to move to about 670 to 690. But if we come back and take a look at this on the daily chart, so here, this is where we are tracking the shorter term movements in the stock. And what the stock did is, when it had this little over 5% pullback, it went right into the 61.8% retracement. I was really around this level around here. It was 38.2% retracement, and I thought if it's able to hold that, that's going to be really strong. But it had a little bit of a bigger pullback, but nothing too crazy in terms of the pullback, because it just went right to the 61.8% retracement. And as long as this level is held and the price begins to close above this 20 period moving average, I think it's got a shot to complete this ABCD right at the 670, getting very close to the targets on the weekly chart as well. So this is what we are watching in Meta, and the important thing is that there is a potential this could be a double bottom. The stock looks strong to me. Getting above the 20-day moving average is going to be a really good sign. The other is from a technical perspective, is the stock is actually slightly closing above the 38.2% retracement from this low. A nice close above this level, getting over the 20-day moving average, is gonna give a lot of strength to this upward momentum, in my opinion. Now let's take a look at Apple. So we'll actually move to the weekly chart for this. Here we go. So look at this, what's happening in Apple. So we have been bullish the Apple stock, and the Apple we were watching for yeah, so it went right into the lower and the higher levels that we were watching, with the potential of this ABCD right here. But the kind of candle it has printed Apple last week, with this doji formation, it's not looking good, because it could be a sign of potential reversal, given the fact it went right into our expected target zone. I'm just on the sidelines on this one and watching it, because there's a possibility the stock could actually pull back a little bit further, maybe touch its 20-week moving average to about 233. So this is what we are watching. And if in terms of the market symmetry, so this is the biggest pullback that we have seen, it could quite easily do a similar pullback, which is going to be a little bit deeper than what I would like to see, back into this trading region. Let's see if it matches with some retracement levels. There you go, 61.8%. So yeah, that's gonna be a really interesting level to watch, 220. But it's got a chance it could actually pull back up further, especially because it is right at these key levels as targets that we were watching. And then there is also another chance that look, the stock into 2022, early 2021. It went sideways, so that is a strong possibility that Apple actually goes sideways for quite a while, so that remains a possibility on Apple stock. Now let's take a look at what is happening with Microsoft. There we go. So what we can see is Microsoft, it's in a trading range right here. It has of course met our targets, and you know that on Microsoft we are really on the sidelines, uh, because there is a chance that it might be in this ABCD, which could actually bring it right into this region around 270. There is another possibility the stock might actually wants to go and hit the 240 level or so, which is gonna be fine. This is exactly what it had done in 2021, 2022 bear market. So that possibility is there. It's just going to be a pullback, which will be, I believe it's right at the 38.2% if you take the lows of October 2022, thereabouts. So just really watching the level, because what it has done is it has done this little ABCD. Okay, let me actually do it this way here. There you go. So not exactly. The CD leg was a little bit higher. Let me actually delete this. Here, and I believe it's right at the 78.6% retracement. There you go. And then we also had and the expansion. Let me add the expansion of this. Yeah, there you go. So you can see it was pretty strong resistance level. So we have seen a pullback. So I would expect more of a trading range behavior in the Microsoft stock. It's pretty interesting. This is what it is doing. And then let's take a look at Google. So Google, this is we had been actually bearish on the Google stock because it met our $195 target, and after that it had a pretty big correction of about nearly 24% from these highs to these lows, which were right at the 38.2% retracement. You can see that here, and then structural support, and this is where some news came out, where it was investing into some quantum chips, and then it just shot up and made new all-time highs. But for the last few weeks, it's just gone nowhere, but it could still hit a 206 level. That remains still a possibility. So interesting one. What is happening with Google? It's got a little bit higher, possibly higher to go, but it's just sideways. And then let's take a look at Amazon. So Amazon hit the exact number, which is the 1.618, and then for the last 3 weeks, just in the trading range. Stock is strong. You can see that this is prices above the 20-week moving average. The trend line is still intact, but there is a possibility that because it's just right in that technical levels, if there is a pullback, the pullback could actually happen, which could bring it back about this much, as because this is the previous biggest pullback we have seen in the CD, like higher, and this would be about, if that were to happen, actually let me delete this one and use this. Right at the 38.2% retracement. So that's going to be, we could expect this sort of a pullback to happen. The stock has been amazingly strong in this CD leg, although I thought maybe it might have put in some sort of a bigger top right here, because this ABCD completion, and we had a pretty nice drop to the downside. And let me actually show you how much this drop was in terms of percentage. It was nearly a 25% drop in the stock, and then it shot up right here. So if we just take, let's see, the CD leg has extended. and also extended in the Nasdaq. There you go. So yeah, this 230, 235 mark is a pretty strong resistance level in the Amazon stock. So I'll just make it there because it has pretty much done that. So there we go. This is what we're looking at in the stock of Amazon. Getting above this 250 mark is also a possibility, but it might actually go lower first. That remains a possibility due it's a retracement. We have this market symmetry there, and then maybe make another final move higher. Then let's take a look at IBM. This is the weekly chart of IBM, and you know that we were getting bullish IBM right here. I met several of our targets, but that we have not been following IBM that much. Well, the good thing is it has actually gone pretty parabolic and hitting these targets right here. So yeah, we'll just keep on watching it. Let's just hit the target by getting into this zone. Then let's take a look at AMD. So I've done an entire video on the AMD stock, so I'll not go too much deep into it. So here, this is the weekly chart, closed on the weekly chart higher, which is good. And then here we go, this is the daily chart. And one of the things that I was mentioning in my video, that we were in a zone which is actually a support zone. It could be a pretty good support. However, with the momentum being this bearish, we have to be very, very careful. And certainly getting below these ABCDs, one should not be involved in the stock, in my opinion. So probably it might be actually better to buy strength in this kind of stock. Now the thing is, one might have to wait quite a bit if there is going to be a turn, because they're whatever technology they are using. Clearly it wasn't working for them. That's why the stock went down so much. Maybe they missed the boat because NVIDIA had the kind of chips used for artificial intelligence. I do not know the technical details of that. Maybe now they're coming up with the chips which are going to be in fashion again. I do not know. But here is, in the previous cycle at the bottom right here. But this one would have been a safer buy if someone was looking to be long this stock, but this point came a few months later. But it would have been better because you have seen this swing high being taken out, and then it wasn't really clear at whether the bear move was over or not. But you had a clear low here. If the low of this low was going to get taken out, then of course the downtrend was going to get extended. So it would have been a safer low, but would have been tough if someone was looking to buy, to time that, because this requires patience. So again, we'll just keep on watching this. Ideally, if it begins to close above its 20-day moving average, which is this green, that's going to be much better. Okay, now let's take a look at shop, which is the let's take a look at NVIDIA. We were looking at the chip stocks. So there we go. So NVIDIA, I'm gonna move over to the weekly chart. So there you go. So NVIDIA, it's really interesting because the NVIDIA stock, it just keeps on coming back. It just keeps on coming back. So I thought this 155, 150 level, which is our target because it's the ABCD, the stock might actually go, it had a pullback for sure, right in the 38.2% retracement, but I thought it might just go sideways for quite some time. But with this kind of bullish weekly candle, maybe, and right from the 38.2% retracement, this is where the strong trending markets, this is 38.2% and 50% even, a really strong retracement level for the strongly trending markets. Maybe it's got a stab at 170, because this is a really powerful looking daily weekly close in a market which has been down quite a lot. This stock is doing pretty well. So here we go. It's obviously closed above this swing high, so it might actually be doing this ABCD like this, which could actually get extended. Boom. tackling this area, but eventually looks like 160, 170. That might be on the cards for this one, because it had a it pulled right into this 38.2% retracement, which I just showed you on the weekly chart. It's much clearer on that. And then it also had this ABCD move right here, so pretty strong looking. As long as this support is held, it's got a chance to go and make a new all-time highs in nvidia. Now let's take a look at we're gonna take a look at Shopify. There you go. So Shopify, I'm gonna move to the weekly chart. Okay, so the good news is that it had a weekly positive close, but this pattern is really important, and it there is a possibility there is further weakness for the stock, which could actually see the pullback to maybe in the 90 level. So we'll just keep on watching it. I think if this area is clear to the upside, then I think the stock has a really good chance to go even make new all-time highs. But from this level, there's a strong possibility of some sort of a pullback that could develop, which could bring it back to around this area, which is 20-day moving average. 20-week moving average. And let's take a look at what is the 38.2% retracement on the entire move higher. Yeah, so the ballpark figure, even 82, so 90, maybe a little bit lower, might be on the card. So we'll have to wait and see. On the upside, really needs to clear this 120 level to the upside, then it becomes pretty strong stock. Maybe it's then gonna go for new all-time highs. Very strong resistance where it is, 118 level. Now let's take a look at RBLX. Here we go. So RBLX, yeah. So this stock is really interesting because, look, this has been a stronger than the market stock, because the overall market, you look at S&P 500 in particular, it has had a pretty strong down move. Even the Nasdaq, Dow Jones, those stocks got crushed. It just went down 12 days in a row. Something Dow has not done since 1974. Statistics I saw on CNBC. But this one, look at this. It's just it's done pretty well given what the market was doing. So stronger than the market stock. Long awaited for us is the level around 67, because that is the 38.2% retracement. 65 to 67 is the kind of level looking for. And the good thing is it cleared all this resistance here, and all of this was accumulation. It's like a spring. This is the Wyckoff concept, and now the energy is released, and so the chances are it could do pretty well. So the key target for us will be this, and if the stock is stronger, then higher targets. Okay, so now Zscaler. This is something we have not looked at for quite some time. Excuse me. These are the soybean futures. Zscaler. Wow. So range bound, but the good thing is it has weathered the market volatility relatively better than what I was expecting. So as long as this point is held, which is 28th of May low, we could still be in this ABCD, the bigger one, or at least we could go and hit this 220. We came very close to it. The high was 217.84. Even also getting above this 220 is positive. Then we can go actually and try to tackle these highs of 5th February 2024. But I'm surprisingly, I'm a little bit surprised because it's been a pretty volatile stock, but it's just held pretty well. So that's an interesting part for Zscaler. Yeah, Netflix. Let's take a look at Netflix. Okay, so the Netflix is actually come down a little bit, just consolidating right here, digesting a lot of gains it has had from new all-time highs. So I thought here it might be a double top, so I'm going to remove that because of course it wasn't. And but the stock had been much stronger, so that's nice. yeah, it's still got a chance, maybe, across the 1,000 mark. um, it's pulled back, but nothing too significant. Maybe it just goes in a trading range for quite some time, and then some of these averages begin to catch up with it. So I think it's one for watching at the moment, um, because we have seen topping action like this before. I don't think we have some sort of this thing, some sort of a top developing right here, because it remains pretty strong. But if it begins to close below these moving averages, then of course something might have changed in the stock. So this is what we are looking at in the key technology stocks that we like to follow. I hope you found this video of educational value, and if you did, then please subscribe to the channel. And if you do, then hit that bell icon button. That way you will know when the new videos are posted. And of course, if you found this video valuable, then please also hit the like button for it. I will really appreciate that. Thank you very much for watching the video. Good luck, good trading, and speak to you guys soon.